Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. My name is DFree, and in this, we're going to go ahead and talk about all of the new units that are dropping on the game. So I hope you all enjoy. Of course, subscribe if you are new for more content. So that being said, we have information, which you've already had information, so really it's just going to kind of be fact-checking, these units and like cross-referencing it with the previous data mines that we had, courtesy of Kawhi and the Reddit. So shout out to those guys and the amazing work that they put in. We are finally at the point where we're about to get all of this stuff. So the dates and times are heavily misleading. I know that there was some dates and times that came out over the course of like yesterday or so, over the night, and they were saying this stuff comes out at different times, like in the morning, early morning, and very, very weird times, So that being said, they're pulling a big bait and switch here, because look at this. So this Goku is the TUR version of this SSR Goku. The SSR Goku technically is supposed to come out 7 hours later than this Goku. I think they're just doing this to just, confuse us at this point. I think they're aware that we know when all this is coming out. The community knows. Or there could be some sort of other ulterior motive, but I think this is the true time that all this stuff goes live. Very, very early in the morning Pacific time. Typically, this stuff goes up at 1 a.m. Pacific time, so this is all weird. So we will see what happens when it happens, but again, there were some times, I believe Truth reported on that himself, so check out his video. But anyways, there are a few things that are happening. We have a Goku that will be non-festival exclusive. He will be an SSR that gets added to the general pool. Same goes for this STR Frieza. The Tech and the AGL variants are the main summonable ones. If you are somebody that is waiting for the LR variant, okay, the LR variant is not here, okay? We do not know exactly when that is dropping, because that stuff, from what I have seen, is coming out in Part 2. So Part 1 is the separate units that go through their separate phases of transformation. Part 2 is the LRs. So really, really briefly, I do want to cover this Goku. Leader skill right here is super physical types get 90% in 2 key, solid sub-leader skill for Dokkan Battlefield. Causes supreme damage and greatly raises his attack for 1 turn. Unfortunately, he gets the 1-turn raise as opposed to most of the, if not all of the Kaioken's that get the indefinite raise, but it's made up for in the passive. Attack and defense plus 80% allows him to be a solid offensive and defensive threat. Attack plus 20% for every attack done. Notice it does not include only super attacks or only normal attacks, so there's no stipulations on it, meaning additionals in the potential system. I wouldn't say max them out, but don't ignore them. If you have the opportunity to give both, go for it, of course, which he's naturally going to get the free 5. I'd probably invest maybe more, maybe 11 if you could, because of the fact that he'd reach this a little bit faster. Now, the thing about him is his crits are still going to do more damage, so that's why I said try to find that nice blend. But if you do get in a position where, for example, like it's Super Battle Road, he's going to be really good ultimately later on when he's got 200 attack percent, so he's really good. All in the family, nice defensive link, Z Fighter, solid attack link, not very usable, I guess. Same warrior race, it's very common, I guess. Kamehameha, shocking speed, prepare for battle, and fierce battle. Those last 3 are the main links he will be utilizing. Sometimes Kamehameha, same warrior race needs to update. It's very, passable now. He has access to Pure Saiyans, Namek Saga, and Full Power. Full Power is picking up a lot of new units in this setup, so stay tuned in to see how powerful that category ultimately winds up getting. So there's a lot of new units, and I'm excited to see Namek Saga and how that one takes off, because we're getting Namek Saga support here. I'm excited to see what happens with that category, and maybe we'll get a summonable unit. So the STR Final Form Frieza, he's right here. He's very similar to the Goku we just covered. By the way, again, these are 2 of the best SSRs, and they are just added to the regular general pool. They are not festival exclusive, so do not get disappointed if you ever get these units. They are really good. Key plus 2, attack plus 90%, and defense plus 90% to extreme STR units. Causes supreme damage, greatly raises attack and defense plus 80. After taking a hit, though, he gets 100%. So he doesn't cap out at 200, but he's a lot more consistent because he doesn't need, the 3 or 4 turns that this Goku would need at minimum to get to 120 here, right? So he's a lot more consistent. So there's my thing. I kind of feel like Frieza's better just because if he gets hit a single time, his attack skyrockets. Yeah, so again, 20% less, so you pick your poison with that. Strongest clan in space, prodigies, universe most malevolent, shocking speed, big bad bosses, thirst for conquest, and fierce battle. Going to be amazing on Extreme STR alongside the LR Frieza as well. Pretty much one of his best friends, alongside like Fura and things of that nature. So amazing units. So now we get into the real units. So here is our SSR Frieza that you would summon. He is a 2-key and 100% villain leader. and he requires 77 medals. By the way, the other units do require these medals as well. This one requires 35. Same for the Goku, 35 medals for that guy as well. So getting out of here, back to the Frieza. He Dokkan Awakens, and this is the Frieza that goes through all of the forms. So first form, second form, third form, and then he goes through, first form, second form, third form, then final form, then golden, I believe. And for future reference, the AGL Goku, he goes Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, 3, God, and Blue, I believe. And they change each time that they do that. So I'm going to make this very, 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 and these are the orb stats, by the way. I'm going to make this very simple because all of that information was in the data mine, because I don't think that we really have access to it via dbz.space. That's something that Renzi would have to implement, because I don't really think we can see all of that. I might be able to see I can see the actual card images, but that's about it. Like, we don't have, and there's the final form. Yeah, we don't have access to the actual card fully put together, it seems. Yeah, we don't really, as far as I know anyway. So that being said, I'm going to make it pretty simple. We're going to bounce back over here and go over Frieza's entire transformation chain. Again, he is a villain leader, so 3 key, 120%. STR Rose, I'm looking at you. You are still an amazing unit, an amazing leader, but you have now been trumped as the best villain class leader in the game, because Frieza now no longer requires what Rose did, which was having one of each type on your team at minimum. So, moving on. Immense damage raises attack and defense with an unlimited stack. That's not in the passive, but that's something that this user put into the note. So again, attack and defense raises endlessly. That should sustain through all of these forms as well, by the way, as a note. So Frieza and Goku, just like the previous units that we looked at, are really, really similar. They start off with attack and defense plus 80%, recovering 11% of your HP at the start of the turn. Transform when conditions are met. I am pretty certain that the condition is just every other turn. I still haven't gotten full confirmation on that. Let me know in the comment section down below if you know otherwise, but we'll find out really, really soon. It's just pretty much saying the same thing here. The restrictions are kind of weird, but I can only really see that being the only way to make this usable, because they would never get far into their transformations if it's like after 3 turns or when your HP is below 40% or like anything stupid, right? So I'm pretty sure it's each turn, and that's also quantified by Piccolo, who is new. After 5 turns, he is guaranteed to transform, so I think we're going to see that here. Again, let me know if you know. But otherwise, I'm going to kind of just point this out here. It goes the same for Goku. His attack goes up, defense goes down with second form, but the recovery percentage goes up by 1%. Still transforming when conditions are met. Attack and defense still raising, and we're going to gloss all the way through third form 100% and then 40% defense, along with 13% HP recovery, all the way down to the golden form and the final form. I want to cover the final form first. He gets 110 attack and 20% defense. At this point, he's literally lost all of his defense, but he's trading it for a little bit more HP. And don't get confused. Like, adding 1% to HP is all that they needed, because that's actually a really, really massive amount of HP to recover depending on the team that this unit is on. And the categories are Revived Warriors, Movie Bosses, and Full Power. So this unit is going to be healing a lot. Every single turn that you see it, it should be transforming and healing, transforming and healing, transforming and healing through and through. That's how they are going to work. So it sounds weird, but it's better on paper. Well, it's better in concept than it is on paper. So moving on. Immense damage with a high chance to stun the enemy. No longer actually gets that attack and defense gain. So, and then 120 pure power here. Guaranteed max key, one time only. And a 100% chance to do a critical hit once only while recovering 15% HP. This is your finisher. If you happen to get to Golden Frieza, I mentioned this when this information first came out. A lot of times you're probably going to be third or fourth form. If you happen to get Golden Frieza, that is your finisher. That's why it's all that once only stipulation stuff. You get to that point, you pretty much finish it. So here's Goku. He goes from key +3, same thing, super type, no restriction, Vegito Blue, I'm looking at you the same way. Attack and defense up, unlimited. But I think Goku's in this form, unlike the previous Goku and Frieza's that I looked at just now, the non-festival exclusives, I think that this Goku is a lot more consistent, just because he's doing the attack raise, defense down thing, but all the while, instead of healing, I can make the argument that, doing the damage received debuff is a little bit more valuable, and that caps out at 25% all the way through and through. So I'd honestly, in certain scenarios, like on Super Battle Road, for example, kind of rather have this, because in 25 isn't that much, And somewhere along here, like maybe 40% defense up and 23, somewhere around there, it's at its peak to me. But because what it is, you know, combining high defensive numbers with damage received reduction is pretty much the pinnacle of defense in this game. Otherwise, you would want an insanely high amount of damage received, like 90%, to even trump that. But otherwise, of course, it could probably be lower than that, maybe 70 or 80. But still, otherwise, this Goku pretty much loses his defense, but he's still pretty consistent here. So if you are somebody that can pull this guy and pull dupes and give him a naturally high defensive stat, he's on a good team. Like, he has access to all of these categories: Pure Saiyan, Super Saiyan 3, Realm of Gods, and Full Power. He'll still be a really good tank, but the same thing applies to him. Guaranteed max key. It doesn't matter what team he's on, because he'll probably not even need, he doesn't need 12 key, but he'll get there. Max key, once only, 100% chance to do a critical hit. So, like, for these guys, the same thing applies. Honestly, you're probably going to spend most of your time right here. It depends on how good your team is. Like, it kind of like reminds me of the LR Vegito and Gogeta, where you could kind of force the fusion. Unless your team is kind of like bad, you would not really have difficulty, but otherwise you can force the fusion by just postponing the fight or taking hits and maneuvering that way. So overall, these guys are really, really good. But again, the LRs are not here right now. The LRs come at a later date, so stay tuned for that. They are coming in part 2. Goku and Frieza here are the same as well. These are the Goku Frieza World Clash battle. You guys have probably seen this. It is the global versus JP stuff. Not really going to cover this a whole lot. When HP is 77% or below, you get 77% attack and 3 key, and it's the same thing for Frieza. So otherwise, they're pretty much, like I said, the same unit. So otherwise, they might be right here. Yeah. If HP is 77% or below, you get those. Supreme Damage, different links, Namek Saga category, Namek Saga category here, Pure Saiyans for Goku. So there's that. There are still a few more units, like this unit here. And then we know what Easy A Piccolo does, but this one has not come out yet. We haven't seen this in the files. So it might come out in part 2, because Piccolo is live, and the Goten, Marin, and Trunks is pretty much the same thing as Piccolo, as Goku Jr., as Tech Bulma, and STR Gohan. So we will be back. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new for more content. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you guys in the next Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. Again, the dates are live on the screen right now. We will see, but this stuff definitely comes out. It'll be out, like, by now tomorrow. Like, it'll be out for sure. So anyways, take it easy, guys.